Zena Cole's handbag shop had it all. Nestled in the heart of Brighton City Market, the store stood out like a diamond among rocks. The shop's exterior shimmered with glass walls that reflected sunlight during the day and sparkled under the golden lights at night. Bold silver letters above the entrance read Cole Looks Bags Boutique. Inside, the air was perfumed with a rich, expensive fragrance that lingered long after customers had left. The floor was polished marble, gleaming like a mirror, while crystal chandeliers hung gracefully from the ceiling, casting an elegant glow over the store. Every shelf was lined with handbags that seemed to whisper luxury: Italian leather, rare crocodile skin, and even custom designs embossed with gold and silver. Each bag was placed on velvet cushions, as if they were treasures meant to be worshipped. In the center of the store, a glass display case showcased the most expensive pieces, some worth more than a house. Zena Cole herself was the crown jewel of the boutique. She was breathtaking, the kind of beauty that made strangers stop in their tracks. Her skin was smooth and flawless, the color of rich honey. Her hair was always perfectly styled, and her figure was curvaceous. She knew exactly how to dress to make every inch of her beauty shine. She moved with the grace of a queen, her high heels clicking on the marble floor as she greeted customers with a practiced smile. One day, while Zena stood in the middle of her luxurious store, customers milled around, admiring the expensive handbags displayed on the shelves. A customer entered, strolling gently, her eyes scanning all the lined bags at once. Then, she suddenly stopped and called out to Zena. Zena turned, and when she saw who had called her name, her mouth opened in utter shock. "Is this you? Or am I dreaming?" "Gloria," the woman called out, and then, like sisters lost during a war, they hugged each other tightly. Zena led Gloria to a luxurious chair. Gloria looked at Zena in amazement. "How? When did you get all this? Please, show me the way." Zena laughed. "My dear, it's God. Leave that God talk now. I am not playing with you," Gloria said, shaking her head. "This woman I know. It's not God that did this one. Tell me exactly what you did. I know you. Now, how did you do it, my sister?" Zena replied, "It's one man like that. He gave me money to start this business. And I did. And now, look at God has blessed me." Gloria scoffed. "Oh, my sister. God? Okay. If God wanted to bless someone, it would not be Zena of all people. It cannot be." She thought to herself. They were childhood friends, and knew almost everything about each other. They talked and laughed about the past until Gloria finally left. When Gloria got home, she sank into a chair, her heart racing. Zena was now a rich woman, but the Zena she knew was the same one who was almost beaten to death a few years ago for stealing in a market. Zena was poorer than a church rat. She had nothing. She knew Zena better than anyone, and so, Gloria knew something was off. You see, Zena was born into a very poor family of 8. She was the last born of the family. She hated work in all its forms, sweeping the compound, fetching water from the stream, or helping her mother cook. It all felt like a punishment crafted just for her. But there was one thing she loved more than anything else: luxury. She would spend hours admiring the shiny jewels at the market stores or running her fingers over the soft leather of expensive handbags. She wanted everything she saw, yet she had no money of her own to buy it. By the time she was 16, Zena was obsessed with living the high life. Back then, she would borrow wigs, bags, and dresses from her friends just to fit in with the rich girls at school, and she never returned them. When borrowing didn't work anymore, she started stealing. Her victims would often forgive her, bewitched by her beauty and charm. But as she grew older, her appetite for luxury only increased. She wanted more expensive wigs, designer bags, and golden jewelry. She didn't care how she got them as long as she got them. One day, Zena had invited Gloria to the market. They walked around, pricing clothes, shoes, and bags. Zena bought just a few, but when they got home that day, Gloria was shocked to see things Zena never paid for. "How did you get all these things?" Gloria asked, her jaw dropping in shock. Zena only smiled. "You still don't know that you have to be smart to get rich in this life?" She sighed. Then, she brought out a brand new phone. Gloria's hand flew to her mouth. Whose phone is this again? I just removed it from one woman's bag like that, Xena laughed. See you. You're just the doing good girl, that's your problem. Just keep playing, she said again. That evening, Xena disappeared. Search parties were organized, and a police report was made, yet nothing. 2 days later, Xena returned, unharmed, but she looked a little off. She told Gloria that the phone she had stolen had belonged to a herbalist. She had felt a strange urge to go somewhere, and as if in a trance, she had transported herself to another village entirely, one she had never been to before. When she arrived, the man took his phone away from her and told her, "No one takes from me." She narrated that he even wanted to kill her, but she cried and pleaded, and eventually, the man let her go. Gloria found Xena's story a bit odd. She looked like she was hiding something, but Gloria never asked further questions. A month later, Xena traveled out of the village, and they lost contact. Ever since then, nothing. But now, seeing her again after just 3 years, Gloria was in utter shock. No, Gloria said as she sat down on her bed heavily. She can't be making this much wealth just from selling handbags. No way. I will find out where she's really getting her money from. I've always been the good girl, yet I have nothing. And she, a thief, always has everything? I must do something. You see, Gloria was a good girl who wanted to live a straightforward life, believing that one day it would pay off. But it never did. She had watched her bad colleagues and friends prosper and thrive more than her. And now, the most shocking one of all, Xena. Gloria vowed to herself to uncover Xena's secret so she too could become rich. It was a Monday morning. Xena sat in her office, scrolling through her social media page when Gloria entered. She walked through the store, looking at the expensive bags. Then, she saw one that caught her eye. It was a gold bag that screamed luxury, but it was very expensive. She wanted it. So, she begged Xena, saying she would pay in installments, but to her surprise, Xena handed her the bag as a gift. After that, Gloria and Xena became very close again. They went to parties together, ate together, and Gloria was always at Xena's store. But deep down, she just wanted to know her real source of income. So, you mean it's just this boutique that's giving you all this money, eh? Gloria asked one hot afternoon. Uh-huh. I can't lie to you now. God just decided to bless me. My sister, what can I say? That day, when Gloria returned home, she broke down and screamed. So, she doesn't want to tell me? I see. So you don't want me to be rich too, Abby? You have to be the only rich one so that you can boss me around and give me peanuts, right? Gloria laughed dryly. Since you want me to remain poor, I will take everything you have. I promise you. While she laughed and played with Xena in front of her, behind her back, she hated her for not making her rich too. She was already devising plans to steal Xena's riches from her. After all, Xena was a thief and used to steal from others. One hot afternoon, Gloria stood at the ATM to withdraw some money. After withdrawing, she checked her balance. Something wasn't adding up. 50,000 was missing from her account. What is this? She screamed. I have not withdrawn any money before now. She quickly went to the bank to complain, but the records showed that the money had been withdrawn physically. There was no way to trace where it had gone. Gloria was stunned. She knew she didn't withdraw that money, but with all the evidence pointing against her, she decided to let it go, concluding that hackers must have done it. But a few days later, another 70,000 went missing, this time from the cash she kept in her handbag to pay her landlord. She searched everywhere for it, but she couldn't find it. First, it was the money in her account. Now, it was her cash. She was certain this time it wasn't hackers. She didn't have much and was just managing the little she had. And now, a huge amount of money was missing. She had to find out what was happening. 3 weeks later, Gloria realized another 20,000 was missing from her account. Her eyes widened in shock. Then, she noticed a pattern. This only happened whenever she used or placed her money inside the handbag Xena had given her. The handbag. She must have done something to it. Gloria laughed in amazement. If this was true, then this was her chance to take everything from Xena. She wasn't sure yet, but she had to find a way to confirm it. So, She dressed up and went to see Xena. "So, you are using your handbags to steal from people, eh?" Gloria asked, praying that Xena's reaction would confirm her suspicions. "I have lost 150,000 since I started using your bag." Xena was quiet. She only stared at Gloria in shock. Gloria laughed as she stood up happily from her chair. "I knew it. A leopard never changes its spots. Please, you can't tell anyone. Please, I beg you," Xena said, falling to her knees. But Gloria's face hardened. "Only on one condition: you leave all this for me." Xena's heart skipped. "What are you saying? If you don't, I will announce to the whole world that you are stealing from them. And you know what that means. You know it won't end well for you. I thought you were my friend. How could you?" Xena shouted. "Friends indeed. When I was begging you to show me the way, did you answer me? So, are you in or out?" Xena thought for some time. "Fine, but I have to officially announce you as the owner of the store. If not, some people might not patronize you," Xena said, her voice shaking. Gloria smiled happily. "This was easier than I thought," she said to herself. She sensed something unsettling, but she brushed it off. Who cared? She was rich. That was all that mattered. That evening, Xena went on all social media platforms and announced that she wasn't the owner of Lux Bags Boutique, but was only acting on the owner's behalf. She presented Gloria as the real owner of the shop. Then, she ended her announcement by saying that she was leaving the company entirely. 1 month later, Gloria, now a rich woman, sat majestically on the luxury couch in her shop where Xena used to sit. She was going through her sales book when she heard a loud commotion outside. Suddenly, hundreds of women stormed into her shop, carrying sticks and weapons. Before Gloria could say Jack Robinson, they vandalized and destroyed everything in the boutique, and before she could blink, the women set the store on fire. "How dare you steal from us?" one woman yelled, throwing a bucket of urine at Gloria. Then, they pounced on her. The women beat her black and blue. Then, they put a tire around her neck as she screamed for help. They were about to set her on fire when, luckily, the police arrived. The officers arrested Gloria, who was now visibly shaking with fear and pain. It was in the police station that she realized what had happened. The women had found out that Lux Bags Boutique had stolen millions from them. Gloria shouted in fury, "Xena, how dare you do this to me?" Gloria suspected that Xena must have told the women the truth. She tried to defend herself, insisting that Xena was the real culprit, but no one believed her. Some very rich and powerful women wanted her out of society, so Gloria was sentenced to 50 years in prison. She would be 82 when she was finally free. Her life was basically over. 1 year later, Gloria was a broken woman. She regretted ever running into Xena again. She regretted taking over the business. She regretted making the worst choices of her life. One day, she was told she had a visitor. It was Xena. As soon as Gloria saw her, she rushed at her, trying to tear her apart, but the police restrained her. "When did you become like this?" Xena asked, tears in her eyes. "You were the good girl, the honest one, the contented one. Did you know that I envied you? I wanted to be like you. What happened?" Gloria broke down in tears. Xena continued, "You didn't even get to know how the money was disappearing. Do you remember that time I went missing for 2 days? That year, the herbalist I stole his phone from told me that I had to work and make money for him as punishment. So, he opened the bag shop for me and put spells on the bags. Anyone who used the bag and put their money, ATM card, or even their phone inside would lose money. The money would disappear into my account. But when they went to the bank, they couldn't find anything. It would only show that it was withdrawn elsewhere. And those bags, they were meant for rich ladies. That's why they were so expensive. Because rich women would never notice." Gloria's breath hitched. Xena continued, "But the herbalist owns 60% of the money, while I did all the work. The spell could only be broken if someone figured it out. That's why I gave you the bag, Gloria. I hoped you would figure it out because I was tired. I was tired of seeing people suffer. Some people who bought those bags weren't rich, but because they loved them, they bought them, and their money kept disappearing. Some lost their school fees. Some lost their house rent, some lost their feeding money, and they all had to suffer. I felt sorry for those women who bought those bags and kept losing money that they didn't even have enough of. And you figured it out. I wanted to close down the whole shop and just disappear with you to start a new life. But then, you happened. I'm sorry, but I can't help you now." Gloria broke down in tears. She ruined her life with greed. If only she had known, she would have done things differently. Now, she would waste away in prison for something she didn't even know the root of. Meanwhile, Xena relocated to another country entirely with the millions she had in her account. She started a new life, this time, with honesty and dignity. She never stole or deceived anyone again. She felt sorry for Gloria, but there was nothing she could do for her. Gloria made her choice, and now, she had to live with it. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.